Hello, good evening, and welcome to Thingamajig's Racing channel. And we are joining the Virtual Racers Club for their Crown Masters Trophy Series. And it's round 3, ladies and gentlemen. And the interesting thing about this series is they don't know what track they're going to race until they said about 45 minutes before the session starts. So, yes, it's a random draw out of a list of tracks for the season. So they know what tracks they'll be racing this season. They just don't know what order they'll be racing. And it's Coyote Driving Park, the Myobi version of it. And we don't see that too often. So I'm rather excited for this one, round 3. I always like to see, one of those tracks that don't get used that often. Up and running in the chat. Skyjacker already hot off the press. You who, sweetie pie. Hope all is good. All is cracking, my friend. All is cracking. So, what is the Crown Masters Trophy? Let me get their bump up because they explain it so much better than I can. The Crown Masters Trophy is a VRC championship using the Toyota Crown Athlete G 2013 exclusively. Racers will compete across 6 rounds, with each round location to be selected randomly before each round, consisting of a sprint and feature race. With limited tuning available, strategy will be key. Drivers will be subject to spot checks to ensure compliance with the rules. Anyone found in breach will be disqualified, but they're all fair gentlemen. There's no cheating, and no one would. What would be the point? So these cars, there is a load of. I think I read it here in round 1. I'm not doing it every round. It's shocking. So the bops off. The PP on these cars are 630. The brake horsepower is at 350, and they weigh in at 1,220 kilograms. And there is some limited settings available. Right, then more info coming your way, my friends, and then we will get on. So the format then is what we're looking for, and it's a 10-minute qualifying beforehand, and then we have a sprint race of 15 minutes on sports soft only tyres, and the fuel and the tyres are at ×1. The feature race, ladies and gentlemen, is 40 minutes, reverse to the previous results, rolling start, and 2 compounds must be used. The pit lane is closed for the first and last 5 minutes of the race. It's free choice for sports softs, sports mediums, and sports hards. And the tyre wear is on ×5, and the fuel depletion is on ×3. One more thing to throw at you, and then we can move on. Let me find season standings. After 2 rounds then, ladies and gents, Skyjacker is the man at the top on 64 points. Big Dan chasing him down in second place on 61 points. Koikap third in the championship on 54 points, ahead of Electric, who's 4th on 50 points. Jammy Dodger is 5th on 45 points, with Pat 6th on 40 points. Shadow Rider is 7th on 38 points, with the Bazinator down in 8th on 31 points, and JTX is 9th on 22 points. The halves and Paul Power yet to get on the board. And in the chat then, we've got the Scorpio saying, Grand rising to you, Thingy, a light dropped with a smile. Oh, thank you, sir. And grand rising to you, sir. Could start a cult where we just our way of saying hello is grand rising, and we'll have like different names for different sort of levels in our cult. So grand rising, hard staffed one. Anyway, so there are all the rules. Let's have a look at how they qualified. Miyabi, man, it's a short circuit, and in that second race, I mean, tyre wear is quite a thing in this series. I think the tyre wear could be interesting in the feature race. Not so much in this sprint race. I think they'll be all right, but we'll see. We'll see. Miyabi is a killer of a track. Right then, so they did qualifying for 10 minutes. They did qualifying for 10 minutes. And this is how the grid stands. I can't remember which side pole's on. There we go. Skyjacker, then, leader of the championship, is on pole position, ladies and gentlemen. The man has a mission, and he is sticking to it. Full in, all in for this one in the Crown Masters Trophy. Second place is Big Dan, who has been keeping him honest throughout this season, but he is dropping behind in the points now. He's got to make up some big numbers. The Bazinator missed last week, so he's behind in the championship, but he's third on the grid, ladies and gentlemen. So his intentions are clear. He is here to fight. In fourth place, we have Koi Carp representing the VRC in their colours and looking rather splendid. Koi Carp then in fourth place. Fifth is the rider of Shadow. Shadow Rider missed the start last round. Was having a snooze on the grid. Now, I think his dinner had arrived, actually. I think someone said his food had arrived just at the start, so that's bad timing. So hopefully he's already eaten this week, and there is no disruptions to Shadow Rider's race program, and it looks rather splendid, that car. I do like the wheels. The rims, Bazza. It's all about the rims. You asked Baz, it's all about the rims. I haven't taken note of Bazza's rims. Do you know what? For the Bazinator, they're quite ordinary. He usually is quite flamboyant when it comes to rims, but it looks like Shadow Rider is the flamboyant one with his rims this time around. Sixth place then, ladies and gentlemen, is Electric, looking splendid in his sixth place. Seventh is Paul Power. He's finally turned up, ladies and gentlemen. He fancies having a go in a Toyota. And Paul Power is hit the ground running, really. Seventh in his first effort in the street car they know as Toyota. And seventh place. Not bad. JTX in eighth. He's finding his feet, like he said himself in one of our chats on one of the live feeds. He said that he's been away from the game for a long time. So it's just easing his way in gently, ladies and gentlemen. In the chat then, Skyjacker says lots of laps. Pat saying, hey, great way to spend part of the afternoon on a rare Saturday off. Well, there you go, Pat. And get back into your livery. He likes to make his liveries while he's listening to me, so he can jump in the livery editor and make up some amazing inventions that he comes up with. Skyjacker saying it was his Akodo delivery. Okay, sorry, not his food, not his dinner. And Skyjacker saying Electric's livery really is very smart. It's tidy. It's tidy, I'd say. So Paul Power in seventh. JTX, sorry, in seventh. Then eighth place, we've got the Jammy Dodger. No, ninth place. JTX is eighth. Sorry, I lost my way. Ninth place then is the Dodger of Jammies, and he's looking fine. 10th for the Pat. And always a winner when Pat gets cooking in the livery maker. And then Halves has shown up in the Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, I'm going to get hungry by the end of this. I am going to be like hankering. I'm going to have to drive over, and we haven't really got a Dunkin' Donuts. Are they in the UK? I think they are in the UK. I've seen them sort of their packaging. I'm going to have to get myself over to the Krusty Kremes. So there you go. That is the field, ladies and gentlemen. And we are looking forward to an absolute splurge here at Miyabi. It's going to be red hot. One last in the comments, and then we will get on. So, Pat, drop in England versus New Zealand rugby this afternoon. That's what I'm sharing your broadcast with this time. Well, hopefully it's more, I don't know. I think, isn't New Zealand, they're the blacks, isn't they? The All Blacks, isn't they the ones that do the with wide eyes and that at the beginning? So, good luck, England. Right then. I could do a hacker at the beginning of each commentary, couldn't I? That'd be something. Right then. Here we go then. Race on, ladies and gentlemen. Sky versus Big Dan up to the first corner, and Skyjacker off to a cracking start at the moment, and Big Dan keeping him company all the way up to the apex, it would seem. Bazza also dicing it up in there, but Coy's trying to find an opening up the inside of the Baz, and he takes it. Yes sir, thank you very much. Big Dan slips behind as Skyjacker pulls an advantage on the pack. Big Dan in second, sliding the crown around, whilst Koi Carp consolidates that third with Shadow Rider coming up the inside. And where's the Baz gone? Has he gone? He's gone AWOL, ladies and gentlemen. What happened to thee? So Baz just seemed to disappear from the picture altogether as he took a big bit of curb there and sliced it. He sliced it, ladies and gentlemen, over to Barry R, and then gets on his way. Paul Power not off to a great start, having a bit of a spin in the crown. So Skyjacker at the moment, Big Dan hunting him down. Mayabi, we're on lap 2 already. That's how short the lap is. And we've got Koi Carp in third. Solid drive this season so far from Koi Carp, staying out of trouble. Electric coming through as well on the Rider of Shadows, and Electric is on fire, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, big slides from the Toyotas as they come through that corner, and that is where the tyre deck is going to kill him. Jammy Dodger wide off the road, but still in contention. Pat there up his rear dairy air, and Shadow Rider slipping down behind JTX now. JTX on fire. He's come into his own, chasing down Electric, who seems to be catching up the Koi Carp. Skyjacker still leads the way with Big Dan setting chase. Koi Carp in third, but he's got to be wary because Electric is flaming behind. JTX also licked, and Shadow Rider slipping down, but has the pace. It must have been a small mistake, and it's cost him very much so. Jammy Dodger we saw having a small off, and that's helped Pat close the gap on the Jammy of Dodgers. And Jammy again likes it wide in that area, but no grip when he comes to the braking, and that's Pat picking up a position and saying thank you tar very much sir. And Harvey also comes through in the Dunkin Donuts mobile with Paul Power as well back into the fight as Jammy Dodger slips to the rear derriere of the field. I didn't notice Bazza all the way through that as he left, and the Bazinator has gone. So Sky leads the way with the Big Dan in second. We've got Koi Carp in third. Oh, Koi now hanging it out very wide, and we've seen when they go out wide there, they don't have much grip when they come to the heavy braking zone of that turn. Electric wiggling around with Shadow Rider being chased. Oh, Shadow Rider getting himself back up ahead of the JTX. Dueling crowns out there, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy stuff as it goes. Baz had hardware issues. He's got hardware issues for sure. Adam back in the chat saying hey up to everyone, and saying second session in a day, keeping my spirits high this Friday, Saturday, bruv. Don't mix me up. I can easily get a day lost. JTX then in 6th, Pat in 7th with the halves in 8th, and Paul Power in 9th, finding the Toyota now, starting to get into the groove, feeling the force of the Crown Master. Jammy Dodger as well playing catch up. Skyjacker though he's definitely built himself up a buffer from the biggest of Dan, and Dan all can do but chase and more chasing, but he needs to be closer to put the pressure on Skyjacker at the moment, absolutely ruling all. Koi Carp doing a solid job in that third. He looked like Electric was ready to go on the attack, but no, Koi Carp has kept things steady. Eddie, ooh, over that corner was a bit of a scary one for the Koi, and Electric chasing him down with Shadow Rider in 5th. And JTX just behind Shadow Rider. Pat up to 7th at the moment. Bit of a gap from him and JTX. Did a 43.1 last time around. JTX is doing the 41.8 Shadow Rider a 41.5, and Electric 41.8 also dropping time to Koi Carp, who's in the 41.5s. Skyjack saying hello to Adam. Adam saying, I'm lost. He's just thrown me off a bit. Still recovering. Sorry about that. Oh, no, it's fine, man. I wish it was Friday. Skyjack saying everyone's cars looks like they want to murder the drivers, especially in the first chicane. Adam saying, not wrong, Skyjacker. They look like absolute beasts to try and wrestle around the corners. It's fun. Big fun with a capital PH. Skyjacker then heading out there in the lead with Big Dan hunting him down. A championship in contention here as we're on the third round. This will be the halfway mark at the end of this through this championship, so big points are needed to go into the second half of the championship looking fruitful. Koi Carp though, solid job in third with Electric hunting him down but not able to close in. Shadow Rider in fifth, starting to find his pace now, starting to find his gander. JTX in sixth. Pat Harvey's made a move. Jammy Dodger, Paul Power may have dropped down a bit on that last lap, having a mare in the Toyota at the moment. Jammy Dodger though going very slow, so that must have been, we saw Harvey maybe moving up. And Pat, solid job this week, solid job in the crown. We've seen him fighting the beast of a car, and this week he seems to have it planted. He's had some sort of revelation. I didn't say anything. That was beautiful, Pat, well done. Oh no, that's the problem with going off there, is that you can't stop for that corner. That's the problem. Oh, and he got a reset. How evil it can be. He was on his way and he got a reset anyway, but he's got a nice gap between himself and the halves, but the halves has seen light at the end of the tunnel now and is closing in. We've only got we've only done like nearly 7 minutes of racing, and it has been fast, frantic and fantastic. Skyjacker though is now closing in on the trailing drivers. Big Dan, this is going to get a little juicy. This might get a little fruity when he catches up with those guys. Big Dan in second place, losing sight of the Skyjacker now, and just about maintaining that pace to stay ahead of Koi Carp. Electric in fourth, solid start from Electric, but it's fourth and no better for him. He's not able to close down the Koi at the moment, and Shadow Rider is mimicking Electric's lap times. He is staying close to it as Electric asks for a lot of curb there to make his way through, and then Shadow Rider closing in on that battle. JTX dropping back a little bit from that fight, but he's got a huge chasm from himself and the Pat in a nice little space of his own. He's got a safe space to just drive into, and Harvey somewhat behind him in eighth, but Jammy Dodger in the periphery of the halves. Paul Power in 10th, and we've got Skyjacker closing in very fast indeed. This might slow it down. Slow his run down a little bit and give Big Dan a chance to close in on that monster Toyota. Koi Carp in third, with Electric and Shadow getting rather close now for comfort. Skyjacker now, look, he's caught one of them on the straight, so that's been pretty pleasant for him. Oh no, the halves has had another nightmare. And Paul Power next on Skyjacker's list of get out of my chuffing way, because Big Dan's trying to close in. Koi Carp in third, Electric in fourth, with Shadow Rider trying to close down on Electric, but Electric doing enough to keep Shadow Rider at bay. And Koi Carp now coming across the Dunkin' Donuts car, and are these guys going to struggle to find their way through? And Koi then closing in, finding a way up the inside of the car. There's Electric. I don't think there's any advantage there for Electric. I don't think Koi felt that one, although it looks like Harvey got right off it to let everyone through. This is the problem with these shorter tracks. When you get into trouble and then find yourself in the pack, you can't. Oh, there's a yellow flag up ahead. Paul Power Paul Power now in trouble, and he's got the pack behind him. He's pulled out of it. See, this is scary stuff for these guys, being caught by the leaders. Skyjacker finding no problems with the pack, finding his way through the stragglers, and maintaining a good pace, not losing time. As Big Dan also trying to cut through, but Big Dan slipping it even further back from Skyjacker. Just doesn't have the pace of Skyjacker today, it seems. Then Koikarp is more of a threat to Big Dan at the moment than Big Dan is to Skyjacker. Electric, I think he may have got held up in the traffic a little bit. I think Paul Power, and not Paul Power's fault, just bad timing for where they caught him on the track. And now Shadow Rider is in. He's in Electric's head. He's rent-free, living in the head of the Electric as we come up the hill here. And you can see Shadow Rider getting a better drive through the corner than Electric at the moment, and onto a short straight. There's a little lift coming through here. We've seen a few of them go out wide there, but then you've got dirt on your tyres for the braking area here. But Shadow Rider and Electric at the moment, smooth as you like, as they make their way through the track. And Shadow Rider and Electric very close on to the next lap, 17. We're 11 and a bit minutes in. Shadow Rider now deciding it's time to make the move, and he goes up the inside of Electric. Electric, nothing he can do, but he's just going to keep his foot in there, because he can make it back here, and Electric does. Beautiful from Electric. Didn't get ruffled then, didn't get flustered, knew exactly what to do in the situation. And Shadow Rider went on a great attack, but Electric just kept his foot in there on the outside, and knew that the track would come back his way. Is that Shadow Rider's rear derriere gone? No, he's kept it together. I just saw him clip that curb, and it looked like his back end was just about to swing out. JTX keeping an eye on things above, as Pat there still in 7th, but the Dodger has closed in. The Dodger making a fight for this one on a comeback tour. Ooh, wiggly. So Pat, and you can see Skyjacker's gone by him, so I imagine Pat had to lift off for Skyjacker, and Jammy Dodger's just following Skyjacker through. Paul Power back ahead of the halves, and you got to think Harvey and Paul, this is their first foray into the Crown Masters Trophy, and getting used to these cars, I think it's a knack, as Harvey goes head first, rushing headlong. And Skyjacker maintains. Skyjacker untouchable at Miyabi. He is driving like a champion, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I think Big Dan, was Big Dan won the championship last time out? I can't remember, you know. But Big Dan can't stay with Skyjacker in this race. Koikarp has dropped back from Big Dan now. He was a threat. I mean, anyone's a threat who's not far behind, because these cars are always at risk of a spin and ascending it. And Electric now starting to pull away from Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider trying to dig deep, find something within himself to go on the attack. We are coming up to the final minute of racing here, ladies and gentlemen. Shadow Rider is running out of the time if he wants to try and take that 4th place from Electric. Koikarp seems pretty solid in 3rd. Skyjacker is away, ladies and gentlemen, and the tyre wear's not that bad. The tyre wear might not be as bad as I thought it would have been. Big Dan putting a lap on the Jammy Dodger, who's in his own little fight with Pat at the moment. And Pat's not going to want to yield when Big Dan arrives. Koikarp, not that far behind, you know. So, nor is Electric or Shadow Rider. One small mistake, and it's easily done in the final lap of the race, or the closing stages of the race. Pat is behind Jammy Dodger. I apologise. Pat is behind Jammy Dodger. And then we've got Paul Power in 9th, Harvey in 10th. But it's Skyjacker with 20 odd, less than 20 seconds, 15 seconds to go on the clock. This is going to be his final lap for sure. And he's run the perfect race, ladies and gents. The perfect race for Skyjacker. Fastest lap, pole, and now coming around to greet the flag. And I think whoever's just in front of him is Harvey. Goes across. 10th with Skyjacker getting the win. Well done, sir. Big Dan then coming across the line for 2nd place. And Koikarp sealing the podium. Take a boo, my son. Shadow Rider did get ahead of Electric in the end for 4th. 5th, Electric. JTX comes around as Jammy Dodger finishes in 7th. And JTX finishes just behind Pat, who finishes in 8th. JTX in 6th. And Paul Power looking rather battered. Battered crown there. Coming home in 9th. So we'll run through that because they all finished at different times. Skyjacker reigns supreme, ladies and gentlemen, in race 1 and was untouchable. Big Dan comes home in 2nd with Koikarp in 3rd. Shadow Rider, he somehow got himself back ahead of Electric, and we were having an absolute battle royale there. So we'll quickly see how he managed to do that. And he's crossing the line to start the final lap. Shadow Rider lining up our boy Electric. Electric going out a little wide there, giving an opportunity for Shadow Rider up the inside. And Shadow Rider, he took that opportunity, didn't mess about. And then, ooh, tight stuff there. But Shadow Rider making sure Electric stayed behind as they come up to the lapped car. And Shadow Rider in no mood to play around with the Dodger and just cuts through as Skyjacker takes the win. And Shadow Rider then comes home for a solid 4th place. Great driving from everyone involved. And Electric, I feel bad for him for that. As JTX comes through, we saw him finish. We saw them all finish. I'm just letting them all cross the line again. And even Paul Power in the very battered looking Toyota. There you go. So that was race 1, ladies and gentlemen. Skyjacker reigns supreme as Big Dan comes home in 2nd. Koikarp gets 3rd. Shadow Rider grabbed that last minute 4th place away from Electric, who has driven sublimely throughout this race. And then JTX in 6th. JTX there matching some of the leaders' times, you know. Jammy Dodger having an up and down race. Had a great comeback though, back to 7th with Pat doing a solid job in 7th for a while there, but I reckon him having to lift for the leaders, let Jammy Dodger close in on him, and then Jammy Dodger went in for the kill. Paul Power finding his feet in the Toyota at the moment, and the halves there in 10th. Also the same, their first round, remember. These guys have got a couple of rounds experience on those guys. So we'll just have a quick look at the chat as we go into the next race, the feature race. Yeah, Adam saying commentator's curse. Wow, how far back is this? Yeah, hardware. So Adam saying commentator's curse. Oh, I was right. Yeah, I shouldn't have said anything. Pat saying I think a few of towards the back got reset doing that through this evening. Oh, that's a shame about the reset thing, because you're virtually back on track again. Skyjack saying certainly wasn't an easy track to have for a first round in that car. Of course, no. Digi won Porsches. That's it. Sorry, digital blasphemy. He didn't take part in this one. Congrats to the near flawless run, Sky, with good performances up and down the field. And Skyjack saying thanks everyone, did very well, especially considering how tricky the track was. It's a tough track. It's a fun track. So then moving on to the feature race, ladies and gentlemen, how will they fare? Skyjacker has been very good with his strategies so far this season. I think he's out-strategied Big Dan almost every feature race so far, if I'm remembering it right, but I might not be. The mind is not as tight as it used to be. I need that thing. I've started watching Black Mirror, and I think I got to the 3rd episode, and they've got like a little chip in them, and they can just go back and watch whatever it is that they've seen. And I thought, man alive, I could do with that. Right, don't look at the cheats. What am I doing? No, I try and usually get past that quick because of spoilers. So here we go then. What's going on? Dun 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 dun. Flash. So it's a reverse grid, and we'll see what tyres they decide to start on. And Sky just saying, I had a couple of bins in feature race in last round. Oh, did you? Oh God, dude, honestly. Oh, that was a split. Yeah, I was probably more distracted with the fact that the internet went down in that race than I was about the results. It was my new internet, my new shiny internet I was all pleased with, because it's so much cheaper than Virgin. And then it cut out, but I don't know what made it cut out. It's the bane of my life at the moment. Internet. It's great. Right then, let's have a look. What's going on here then? It's a rolling start, reverse grid from the first race order. And they're three different compounds to choose, and they've got to use 2. And the pits are closed for the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes. That's all the info you need coming into this one. Harvey then is running on the soft sports tyres at the head of the field. Paul Power has opted for the sports softs also. Pat starting with sports softs. Jammy Dodger sports mediums for the Dodger of Jam in 4th. JTX also opting for those sports medium tyres, and Electric going for the sport soft. Shadow Rider opting for a set of sport mediums, as Koi Carp going for sport soft. This is quite varied, mixed up. This is going to be interesting. Big Dan, sports mediums, and Skyjacker also opting for the sports mediums. Yeah, that's a mixed field, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to be arriving into corners at different speeds and braking points. So this could be very, very messy. It could be messy. We'll just say that. As they come around then to the line to start the 40-minute race, ladies and gentlemen, Harvey is on his way. And Harves then leads them around with the Paul Power, trying to find his feet. He was looking pretty consistent near the end of the sprint race. He may have been a second or so off the leader's times, but first of all, you've got to get it around before you get it fast. Jammy Dodger hanging out the rear derriere of it and finding himself in Electric's way as JTX wants to get involved as well. Oh no, and Jammy Dodger out wide again in that area. He just loves to push it hard into that chicane as Paul Power now takes over the lead from the Halfmeister, and they've got Pat all wild, goosey behind, and Pat then having to recoup and grab that crown underneath him, and Electric moves up and into 3rd place. Electric looking very racy here, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this space. Harvey is ahead of him at the moment, and Harvey is absolutely trekking. But Electric absolutely threw it there, and beautiful stuff. But he's gone wide, ladies and gentlemen, and we know how hard it is to slow this car down after you've been out there, and he's managed it, but he cannot get that position back from the Halfmeister. Fantastical stuff as Paul Power builds up a buffer on the rest of the field. Harvey then in 2nd, Electric 3rd. We've got Pat in 4th, Koi Carp up to 5th now on his sports soft tyres. Skyjacker making good headway. He's got himself past Big Dan and a bunch of other people, and Skyjacker then up to 6th on those sports mediums with Big Dan. Sports mediums also coming through the field with Skyjacker. These two really do have the cars underneath them. JTX in 8th, those sports mediums there as well, with Shadow Rider sports mediums and Jammy Dodger. It seems like the softs and the mediums have all sorted them, they've segregated themselves into order. We like order. Writes it down. in the chat. I don't know why. I've got my iPad miles away. I have to keep standing up and leaning over the table to read it because it was low on charge earlier, but I've charged it now, so I can move it rather close. Oh, hello. Adam saying, I sense a couple of eventful early laps. For sure, you're not wrong. And Sim saying, hello there, Thingy and viewers. Sim saying, this is brilliant. Adam saying, hey up, Sim, GTE. Paul Power then leads the way with the Pat in second now. Koikap in third. Skyjack. So what's happened to Electric? Sorry, he's parked it. Absolutely parked it. Why? He's already moved down a position or two. I've gone back 20 odd seconds. He's under scrutiny of Koikap. Koikap makes his way through. And Electric then, it just seems he's lost a couple of positions there. But when we cut to him, he just pulls over and parks it. Oh no. Maybe needed a wee-wee. Something's gone awry in the car. And he's having to fix something on the hop. It must be something to do with his wheel. Because it looks like he's messing around with the accelerator and the brake. And he's trying to find a source of the problem. And possibly it could be the nut behind the wheel. Jamie Dodger in 10th. Paul Power leads with Pat in second. Koikap in third. And Skyjacker rising up. They rise above, don't they, eh? Don't they just? And Big Dan trying to make more of a race of it as he did than the sprint race. And trying to keep Skyjacker a little honest here. As Koikap's got the pace. He's got the fastest lap so far. And he's heading on his way to Pat. Pat having a very solid beginning stint to the feature, it has to be said. I don't want to say too much. Don't want to rattle the cage or anything. So let's just say Pat's doing all right. I don't want to curse anything. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying he's having a good run. Paul Power having an absolute solid run out in the lead at the moment. No issues here, sir. Nothing to see. Very good. We're a minute away from the pit lane opening. And will anyone? The tyre wear isn't as bad as I thought it would be. Anywhere as close as bad as I thought. I thought to a point where they wouldn't be able to use the soft tyres in the feature race. I thought, no, those soft tyres are going to be torn to pieces. But no. The tyres seem to be fine. Koikap making a move on the Pat at the moment, with the Pat being rather defensive on the curbs. And Pat, solid drive from the Pat there. Great defensive drive. Get out himself on the curbs and made the life so difficult for Koikap. It wasn't worth the opportunity, but Koikap now sees something up the inside and he takes the opportunity now. And Pat again aggressive on the curbs, trying to maintain, but Koikap pulls it off and gets himself ahead up and into second place now. Skyjacker, he does have the nerve. He comes in as the pit lane opens and he likes to make his pit crew work, ladies and gentlemen. He's in to get rid of the mediums. Big Dan decides to stay out on his mediums, with JTX also staying out on the mediums. Shadow Rider opting for the mediums for a little longer, as does the Harv, and Electric, who's on the softs but has some sort of issue in the car. He's back up to pace. Well, he's not quite on pace. 42.1. I'd say that's his fastest lap, but for some reason this is saying 42.8 is his fastest lap. So let me go back. There you go. Now it's saying it's 42.1. Skyjacker back out on a set of softs, and Jamie Dodger making the opportunity now to make a pit stop. Oh my God. A pit stop's going to put him like half a lap down on the other guys. Like Jamie Dodger's in 10th, but now he's behind Koikap in second. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun to try and keep an eye on who's where. So Paul Power at the moment still leads on a set of Sport soft tyres. The pit lane has been opened. Skyjacker and the Dodger of Jam have made their pit stops. They have ticked the compulsory tyre compound box, and now it's a free run for them if they decide to make more pit stops or not. It's down to fuel, isn't it, really? Koikap at the moment, solid drive in second place, with Pat there as well. Good drive after seeing his woes in the sprint race. Don't go out there, not that. And Pat then in third. He's got Big Dan chasing him down on a set of medium tyres. Now Pat, 41.8. Oh, look at him slide around the final corner. It's so satisfying. Pat then, 41.8 last time around. Big Dan on a set of mediums, 42.6. So that might be why Skyjacker decided to change those tyres sharpish, because of the soft tyre having a 1 second lap advantage, which is quite a lot around here. JTX taking the opportunity to go and change his tyres as Shadow Rider continues on. He continues on, and the half giving him some jip while he does so. And Sim saying, I really need to get in touch with you, sir. Absolutely love what you are doing. Fantastic. Yeah, I don't know how. I'm on Discord. Thingamajig 76. PSN Thingamajig 76. In the comments. I answer most of the comments in YouTube. And oh no, JTX got a pit penalty. What the Jeebers? Oh, he's already paid it. He must have done. So they might not have it on. No, actually, these guys don't have their penalties turned on. They have a gentleman's understanding that they're not going to break rules. I don't think they believe in that penalty for the pit lane anyway. It is too harsh. I understand that. Paul Power, at the moment, leads the way and doesn't look like he wants to relinquish that lead, but Juicy Koikarp is coming in hot and fast. Ooh, it looked like Paul Power made a bit of a mistake on that the last lap around of 44, and he looks like he's losing a bit of grip out there. Koikarp in second. Ooh, have we made friends already? I heard gling. Oh yeah, Sim GT7 wants to be your friend. See, there we go. Modern technology. I'll accept it when I'm done this. Thank you. Pat then is into the pits. I thought he'd made a mistake. That was a wiggle and a half, wasn't it? So Pat's made a decision to get off those softs. Not even 10 minutes into this race yet. Paul Power stays with the softs for now. Koikarp also on his original soft tyre, and he is closing down the power of Paul at the moment. But Paul, solid driving with Big Dan in third, going long on his mediums. We've got halves going all the way on his soft so far. Skyjacker, who did make a pit stop for the soft tyre from the medium, has made his way past the halves there. Beautiful stuff. So Skyjacker now up to fourth, chasing down Big Dan. And Big Dan is certainly not a pit stop apart from Skyjacker. So Skyjacker making up good ground there. Harvey in fifth. We've got Electric in sixth, with Pat now in seventh after a pit stop. And Pat has opted for the hard tyre, which means no grip whatsoever. Look at it, sliding around. And it looks like Pat is going to do a demonstration of drifting for us for the rest of this race, because he's getting no grip whatsoever. But maybe he fancies taking that to the end. I haven't really been keeping an eye on the fuel. Who hasn't pitted? JTX has. I think these guys have all made pit stops. So Koikarp hasn't pitted. Oh, he's taken over the lead from Paul Power quite a way as well. Paul Power must have made a mistake there. Oh yeah, look, everything's broken. Sorry, Paul. We've got to see what you busted up. Oh, it's the same old story, innit? Boy meets curb. Curb kills boy. Oh well. So it's the woes of Miyabi for Paul Power there. Ah, Miyabi strikes. And Koikarp, solid drive at the moment. So half a tank of fuel in 10 minutes isn't going to go all the way in this race. So yeah, with Pat and his hard tyres, full tank, I don't think he's going to make it to the end. Adam saying, oh, no worries, I thought I saw him cutting the entry line. Skyjack saying VRC don't use in-game penalties, as we find they usually just kill good racers. We saw any issues post-race. There you go. I've got it right. Harvey then into, I think I was part of the admin team at the time that vote came in. Oh man, it was ridiculous though. People were having offs. We had to do it. It had to be done, because at the time, I think they've fixed the penalty system somewhat, but not really. Especially like places Red Bull Ring and that. But people were like spinning off and then getting a second, 1 second, and 1.5 second penalty, even though they've lost a shed load of time in that lap from a spin off or going wide, but going wide through sandy bunkers. And then they arrive back on track again and get a 1.5 second penalty. It was crazy. And it really did destroy the racing. It really did. So, Koi Cup. But don't forget, this isn't a racing simulator anyway. It's a driving simulator. And, to tell you the truth, everyone said, oh, the penalty system's not real. But after watching Formula 1 this season, I'm thinking that either Formula 1 are taking a note out of the GT7 book of penalties, or the GT7 is taking the book out of the F1 penalty system. 5 people go off in one corner and 1 gets a penalty. That's really bizarre, okay? Just always never forget. So, Koi, at the moment, still not pitting. Paul Power, moving on, is not pitting. Also, Big Dan, yet to pit. Skyjacker, first to pit. And then Patrick saying, I think I remember once getting a 6-second penalty for going wide out of turn 5 at Interlagos. Yeah, it got daft at some point. And obviously the 3-second rule for the pit lane entry thing is no one gets 3-second advantage for going into the pit lane. I mean, I don't get that. Maybe half a second, maybe a second, but 3 seconds is just silly. So Skyjacker in 4th place at the moment, waiting for the rest of the field to pit. But I tell you, his tyres and fuel will be gone as well. He's going to have to make another stop for sure. But I think I keep trying to say, oh, they're going to one-stop it, but I don't think they can. I don't think it's a feasible strategy. I think everyone in the end, they have to two-stop. So Koi and Koi's passing someone. Oh, up to Pat now for Koi Car, but these guys have pitted, don't forget. Harvey has been in and put on a set of medium tyres. Jamie Dodger pitted earlier and has put on a set of softs. I mean, I think he might have pitted just after Skyjacker. Pat has pitted and put on a set of hard tyres, which is a tough call, as Jamie Dodger is coming in fast and strong there. Shadow Rider, as he started on the mediums, has changed to the soft tyre. He's getting some good lap times at the moment. I don't know, JTX must have pitted. He must have started on the mediums. He's gone to the softs. Paul Power now is pitting. Paul Power, as is Big Dan. Big Dan deciding this is the time. Skyjacker continuing on. Koi Cup continuing on. The fuel is good for Koi Cup, but those tyres are starting to get to the wrong end of the red. Skyjacker then is set to lead this race when all the pit stops are said and done. And JTX also having a solid drive here. He's gone unnoticed by me, I must say. I haven't seen him much in this race. We haven't looked over at him to see what he's up to. And I think he has made a pit stop. I'm pretty sure his tyres wouldn't be in that state, although his fuel. Oh, maybe he hasn't made a pit stop. Maybe he's just really looking after that set of soft tyres. But I think he started on the mediums, but maybe he pitted and didn't put fuel in the car. But JTX at the moment, solid 3rd place for the Flying Finn. Big Dan back out on a set of softs just ahead of Paul Power, who finds himself in the way of the Shadow Rider. The Shadow Rider going up the inside for an overtake on the Power of Paul, and let me hear it. Oh lordy, Shadow Rider makes the move up the inside of the Power of Paul. Give me the Power of Paul. And Jamie Dodger there in 7th. He's getting through that second set of tyres as Paul Power just getting used to the medium. Shadow Rider in a lovely set of softs, got him bedded in nicely. Big Dan has gone to the soft tyre, and they are fresh, Gov. Fresh off the shelf. But Big Dan finding himself quite a way behind Skyjacker at the moment, and it's a tough road he's got to drive But Skyjacker definitely getting through those soft tyres, and not even at the 20-minute mark yet. That early pit stop, he pitted literally when the pit lane opened for the soft tyre, and the soft tyre, it looks to me like it's only lasting 10-11 minutes. It's definitely not going to make half a race. Look at that, Koikar, 16 and a bit of change into this race, 16 minutes, and his tyres are screaming for mercy. And don't forget, these aren't very grippy tyres. They're like road tyres, so he's virtually slicking them out, and I think they are prone to spin a little bit more than the racing sets. So Koikar playing a very risky game with his tyres at the moment in a car that's pretty hard to handle. He's doing he's doing a tremendous job out there, Skyjacker. But Skyjacker going so much faster, a 41.5 last time around. Again, another 41.5 on an old set of softs. And 42s, there's an off up ahead, and Pat on those. Oh, Pat's come back in. He's got rid of the hard tyres. He's realised the hard tyres are a fool's errand. There's nothing good can come out of a a sports set of hard tyres. Excuse me. Harvey in 9th place with Electric in 8th. Electric having a bit of a quiet race here. He was lit up in the oh sorry, I've just had that cough. I tried to cover my mouth, but that makes no difference to you guys. The noise is still horrendous. Electric then being caught to be lapped by Skyjacker, 2nd place, and Electric not having as much fun in the second race, it seems, as he did in the first one. Jeremy Dodger, solid job at the moment in 7th, but his tyres are going wayward. Paul getting used to those medium tyres with Shadow Rider. Oh, Shadow Rider's had a knock with his front end of the car there, and that's taken a bit of wind out of his sails. He was chasing down Big Dan, who's gone fastest of everyone in this race so far, and he's hunting himself a GTX. He's got the Dunkin' Donuts of the halves ahead of him at the moment, but that is a lapped car. And this size track, I mean, there's no being lapped. You're just taking a pit stop puts you a lap down. So yeah, I wouldn't read too much into being a lapped car at Miyabi. JTX there in 3rd. JTX doing an absolute solid job at the moment. The fuel's looking low though. Skyjacker as well, using up his tyres. Koikar virtually on the rims, and this is it. He's come into the pits now. So Koikar, did he get it halfway? Not quite halfway, but the fuel definitely can reach the halfway point. But the soft tyres will struggle to get there. Skyjacker, who made his pit stop when the pit lane first opened, is continuing on. He's still got a fair whack of fuel to keep him going up until the final 10 minutes of this race. JTX having a very impressive race, but he's down to 43.0 there. And is he starting to try and lift and coast to save fuel maybe and tyre? Big Dan is no lift and coast in that car. He didn't even fully fuel that when he pitted, did he? He's gone for an ultra fast stint there. It's keeping the car light on fuel to help the tyres as well. And Big Dan is slinging it now. Here is the test, ladies and gentlemen, as Skyjacker goes into the pits. And I thought he was going to try and rinse that, but those tyres aren't going to be rinsed, are they? He's going to have to fill that up. Medium, maybe go for medium tyres and try and run all the way to the end. JTX comes in as well for the need of fuel. The juice is just running out in these cars. Big Dan takes the lead, but the strategies are all over the place, ladies and gentlemen. Koikar has gone to the medium tyre full tank. Now, can he get that all the way to the end? That is the question. And Shadow Rider, who is coming close to him on them soft tyres, and Coy would really just be easier to let Shadow Rider go and not get into that race. He's got to race his own races, Koikar, not even on the same strategy. Shadow Rider has a sniff and a whiff up the inside, and this is what I'm talking about. Now it's costing Coy. It's costing Coy time. Just let him go. So Shadow Rider just wants to get on with his race, and his strategy at the moment is not to be stuck up behind Koikarp, who's on a set of medium tyres. Koikarp's rear end stepping out on him, and Shadow Rider then getting the move. And man alive, that was by accident with a lot of cuts. Looked like one of those fast pop videos with quick cuts. But it was just me flicking between cars. And Skyjacker also finds his way through and past Koikarp. But Koikarp, he's playing the long game here, ladies and gents. He's playing the long game. He's not too concerned about where Skyjacker and Shadow Rider are doing right now. It's where they end up. And Shadow Rider is on a huge push right now. Koikarp then dropping down to 4th. We've got Jamie Dodger in 5th, but his tyres are near the end of their life. Poor power on those medium tyres. They're doing what Koikarp's trying to do. Just keep your head down, crack on, and let everyone else run their races. Electric as well in 7th with JTX, who's pitted again. Put some Sport Soft tyres on, and he's up for some racing. Harvey in 9th, running the mediums at the moment, with Pat, who's been on the hards and now is on to the mediums. Big Dan leads the way. So let's have a look. I think I've missed a bit of chatting here. Adam saying 40.9 fastest lap so far for Skyjacker. That's blooming quick. It's a solid one. And 40.8 for Big Dan. Oh no, 40.8 for Skyjacker. Very tight on times between the two of them. Adam saying Coy absolutely running that tyre life to the max. He is, he definitely is. Pat saying strategy decision to try the hards didn't work. I thought it was worth a try, having used about 1/3 of the fuel in 10 minutes, but they were too slow. Decided to pit again and try to cut the loss. Not bad. That's not a bad plan. It's great to see gambles like that being tried. I like it as well. Big Dan in the chat saying good afternoon, and Adam and Sim both saying hello to Big Dan. Big Dan then leads at the moment, and Koikarp back in the pits. That's early. Oh, he's just using the mediums, ladies and gents. He's just getting the mediums out of the way. Bold statement from Koikarp. What was that? 1-2 laps on the mediums? Possibly more. Yeah, he's done about 4 or 5 of them. And yeah, Koikarp coming in to get rid of those mediums, get back out on the softs, and tick, tick, tick. He's ticked the boxes, ladies and gentlemen. And now solid 4th with Shadow Rider, whom is going to pit at least this lap or the next ahead of him, putting Koikarp back into a solid 3rd and possibly not needing to pit for the rest of the race. A clever boy. Big Dan. He ran half the race on the medium tyres, and got 15 minutes left of racing. So Big Dan at the moment leading the way, with Skyjacker in 2nd with that fastest lap. He's knocking the fastest lap down every time. 40.7 last time out. Shadow Rider in 3rd. 41.9, but Shadow Rider definitely needs to join the pit lane, and there he goes, comes in. That's going to promote Koikarp back up and into 3rd. Great drive for Koikarp at the moment. I'll drive. We'll go quick. Sorry, I'm having a conversation with my son because he's got to get to work. Might have to stop the stream. Unbelievable. Big Dan then out in the lead. I'll have to... I thought I unmuted too early. So Big Dan then out in the lead. Skyjacker in 2nd place with Koikarp in 3rd. And JTX in 4th. We've got Shadow Rider in 5th. We've got Electric in 6th. Paul Power in 7th. And then Jamie Dodger in 8th. We've got Pat in 9th. With 15 minutes left of the race, we might have to pause this and do it in 2 streams again. I am so sorry, gang. I didn't give it a thought that I was meant to take my nipper to work. So, and he's getting stressed. So, I don't know what to do. We might have to pause it, and I'll pick it up again It's horrible, I know. It's my fault. Poor planning on my behalf. But there's no one else to take him. My wife's out in town, and I am the only form of transport for him. So, oh, it's ridiculous. No probs, buddy. In real life is more important. See him smashing the like button and subscribe. Have to go. TC Legends. Yeah, lap 38. Do you know what, guys? I'm going to have to. I'm really sorry about this. It's my fault. I'm going to pause it there and we will pick it back up. Stand by for part 2. I'm so sorry, guys. So Big Dan. Big Dan is leading, Skyjacker in second, chasing him down. We've got Koikap in third. Koikap's been very clever with his strategy there. And it'll be interesting to see, because I'm not sure if Sky's got to pit again. Big Dan is definitely going to be pitting again. Shadow Rider as well. These guys might be running to the end now, fourth. JTX could be running to the end. Electric, I think, could be running to the end, as is Paul Power. Jammy Dodger looks to be running to the end as the halves. So, yeah, Big Dan's going to have to pit, and we're not going to know where he's going to end up. I will carry this on in about 30, 40 minutes after I've dropped my nipper off. I am so sorry, gang, and I will see you soon. Tiru, peace and love. Peace and love. I'm so sorry. I am so, so sorry.